Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Machem Leira Online Smicha. You know, it's getting closer to Rosh Hashanah and people make all these wonderful achlatas tovos, and especially on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur when many shuls take advantage of the situation that a lot of people, they have more people coming to shul and they sell different chusim, aliyahs, psicha, maftayono, all these wonderful things, and people pledge large sums of money and all for good. The question is, how strong is a commitment of a pledge? And what happens if a person makes a payment plan and he has a reoccurring payment every month, a certain X amount of dollars on his credit card or a check? If he feels that he overextended himself, could he stop it sometime? I mean, there's two parts to it. If he bought something, so he got something in return. But even if he just Mimnitvas Liber Atar, he decided he wants to give a nice donation, a monthly charge. What does he have to do if at a certain point of time he says, I can't do it anymore, I'll slow down? Is he able to change even though he committed and he already did a couple of charges, which we know that when a person does a good act more than 3 times, it becomes like a neder. So let's start with the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah. The Gemara Rosh Hashanah, Daf Vav Amud Aleph, the Gemara says, Tanar Rabbanan. The pasuk says, "Moitzes v'secha tishmar v'asisa kashen nedarta l'Hashem elekecha." All right, and the Gemara dissects this pasuk in word for word. In other words, everything you say, every word that comes out of you utter out of your mouth, you have to keep. Darshans the Gemara. Moitzes v'secha, anything that your lips utter, any commitment, zu mitzvah saseh. It's a mitzvah saseh to keep it. Tishmar, when it says be careful to do it, zu mitzvah saseh. Then it's a mitzvah saseh and a mitzvah saseh to fulfill your commitment. V'asisa, this is interesting. The Gemara says, azhara lebezdin sheyasucha. This is now for the bezdin. Bezdin has an obligation to make sure you do what you committed. They force you to do what you made a neder. Okay, then the Gemara says, bificha, what you uttered from your mouth, zu tzedakah. That is, if a person says, I'm giving for tzedakah, then it's also a neder. Tzedakah is like a neder. If you pledge, you commit, it's like a neder. And v'asisa, you have to do it, and Bezdin has the reshus to force you to fulfill your promise. So if a person pledges, he has to keep his pledge. He has to keep his promise. Now, B'chlal, there's another thing to note, but usually when you want to make a transaction, for a transaction to be final, there has to be a kinyan. But the only place that your kinyan is not needed is amirasoi legavoya k'mesirasoi lehedyet. That when you say something that you're going to do for gavoya, for Hashem, hektish, it's as if you gave it over to another person, and it doesn't even need a kinyan. The utterance is already a commitment that you have to fulfill. So now that we know that tzedakah is not only a tzedakah, it's also a beged neder, what happens? The person realizes he overextended himself. What could he do? So there is the question is, could he do? Does hataras nedarim help? And even if he didn't say something, let's say you signed up for a monthly payment, $18 a month for a beautiful organization, very needy organization, $18 a month. And after a year or so, you say, okay, I want to shift the money somewhere else, and maybe it's not needed as much. So there's a similar shaila in Choshen Mishpat Siman Samach. Over there, the Ramah brings a situation where a person committed to support somebody. He says, I like this young couple, I'll support him. But he didn't give a closing date how long he's going to support him for. So the question is, how long? He said, I'm going to support you. Does he have to support him forever and ever? Or is it a period of time that he takes? So there's a machloikus over there. Is it enough to support him as long as it's needed? Even though I didn't make that part of the conversation. Do I have to support him forever and ever? Because I said I'm supporting him. Or do I support him for a chunk time is what I meant. I meant a chunky time, a year or two. I didn't mean forever. So there's different opinions. Now, And it would also make a difference if the person is needy or the person is not needy. If the person is needy and he needs the funds, so you give him, you help him because you committed, and if he's able to stand on his own feet, you obviously didn't think that you're going to do this forever. But if the person doesn't really need you and you committed anyways, then it seems to be that's a much longer term a commitment. This is the discussion in Achrayim. So over here, in the Shulchan Aruch, in the Pesach Tshuva, okay, in Ramah, and Simon Samach, over here too, there's a machlekes with today's poskim, the last generation, Rabbi Yoshev, and another posik, whether if a person committed to do something and he signed up for a reoccurring payment, does he have, and he wants to change, does he have to do a Taras Nadarim? Or do we say that even when he signed up, the biggest proof is, when you signed up, you have at any time you could stop it. So that means you didn't sign up forever and ever. Do you have to make a Taras Nadarim to break that payment? Or you don't have to make a Taras Nadarim for that payment? So Rabbi Yoshev held that a person may not cancel without a Taras Nadarim. Rav Nissen Karlitz held that as long as he does it for a period of time, nobody thought he's going to do this forever. Even though that since you're able to cancel it also at any time, shows that you're not stuck in this forever. So this is a discussion in halacha today. If you should do if you're able to cancel, it looks like yes, because you never committed if it's long term. But whether or not you should do a Taras Nadarim it's preferable. It should be done just to be on the safe side.